I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, James. This is quite ridiculous.
Mate, you've come on the radio and talked to me about people you wouldn't want to live next door to, and I'm asking why. Why, Phil?
I am totally. I don't.
What would the neighbours do? What would the imaginary neighbours do that would make them undesirable?
Bone in my body, but I am culturalist, James.
Say that again.
I'm not prepared.
Say that bit again about the racist bone in your body, because some people missed it.
I don't have a racist bone in my body.
But you don't want to live next door to brown people.
No, I do have a culturalist bone in my body, James.
Culturalist? What does that word mean?
Culture.
No, culturalist, you said.
Well, as in racist, James, for goodness sake. I'm just using
exactly,
it in the same manner.
Yes, exactly, you are. You're not supposed to say that bit out loud.
And that is the James O'Brien talk radio show in the United Kingdom. The caller, Phil, is getting tripped up while trying to distinguish between being racist and being culturalist. The caller began the discussion by saying that he wants his neighbors to blend in and that Islamic people do not blend in. So James O'Brien is pressing him and trying to understand what blending in really means. O'Brien accuses the caller, Phil, of racism, and Phil denies it.
So you're basically being a racist but calling it culturalist instead.
No, I'm not being a racist. There is a huge difference.
Right. So what would these people do that makes them undesirable neighbours, Phil?
If you can't see that, then it's your
Well, you can show me, Phil. They're living next door to you. They're living next door to you, Phil.
James.
What are they doing? What are they doing that makes them undesirable neighbours, Phil? Apart from being brown.
Well, look, let me just shift it a little bit.
I wish you'd answer one of my questions. So let me run through some of the words that you've used. All right, people should blend in more. Polish people are all right, but Muslim people aren't.
No, you're putting words into my mouth.
No, these are all words you've said.
I'm quite sure I didn't say they should blend in more.
I'm quite sure I did not say they should blend in more. Well, let's roll the videotape.
Say, for example, I have a Polish family live next door.
Yes.
I might even not know that they're a Polish family because they blend in.
But they speak Polish.
Now, if you have people
they speak
who
Polish.
do not blend in, for whatever, it could be any European migratory family, if you like, or whatever,
right.
or community. It doesn't matter. The point is they blend in.
How do they blend in? They've got their own shops.
Because you don't notice them. James, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is the problem. You can't see the problem you create.
What families don't blend in, Phil?
Well, I'd be absolutely honest. I would not like a trenchant Islamic family moving in next to me.
And how would you know? How would you know the depth of their religious beliefs?
Because I know the culture, James, and this is the problem.
But how would you spot it, Phil?
That there is a genuine issue.
So if you're keeping track, Phil in the UK is fine to have a migratory European family move in next door, but not a trenchant Islamic family. And how does Phil know the Islamic family won't blend in? Because Phil knows the culture. Wow. This conversation in the UK is interesting because it underscores that one of the defenses that racists use to claim they are not racist is by insisting it's a matter of culture and not race. The racists say that race or skin tone of somebody is irrelevant, and all that matters is whether somebody's willing to blend in to white European culture. We hear that in the United States from white nationalists and racists, that this country was founded by white Europeans who had a culture that needs to be maintained and promoted, not denigrated. And if people want to move to this country from Africa or Asia or the Middle East, they need to adopt and embrace the white American European culture. But as many of us know, the U.S. Constitution doesn't require a specific culture, just an adherence to basic rights and laws. And if you follow those rights and laws, it doesn't matter what religion you are, what foods you eat, or what language your family speaks. But racists like Phil say it does matter, and that culture is more important than laws or rights. There is another term for this. It's called white nationalism. And you will hear white nationalists try to get away with their hatred and bigotry by saying they don't dislike black or brown people. The white nationalists just want to keep and maintain white European culture. And that black or brown people who don't blend in are diluting white culture. The fact is, that is racism, and it's important to understand that racism comes in a variety of shapes and forms. There are racists who will burn crosses and engage in violence against people who look different from them, and then there are the racists who will be more subtle and casual about it and insist that all of us should promote a white European-based culture. The common thread through all of this is hatred and bigotry. Kudos to British presenter James O'Brien for calling it out. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. By the way, one of America's most popular but subtle white nationalists is arguably Tucker Carlson on Fox. He keeps trying to rewrite the history of the January 6th Capitol insurrection. But leaders in both major U.S. political parties are now unified in their criticism of Carlson. Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.